Hail and matches adventures, welcome to the world of Baldur's Gate 3. This awesome beautiful game just released officially on PlayStation 5. And while all my builds from my channel can work on PlayStation 5 easily, there is no difference in these games. When I'm playing with controller on my sofa, I want to relax, chill and have fun in this game. And when you picking abilities in this game with controller, you got this wheel, or 3 of them. But I found myself it's a little bit boring to go through all these wheels when you want to find your perfect spell. So today I will show you 10 builds for Baldur's Gate 3 that will work on PlayStation 5 with this wheel, and they all will be super simple, cool and effective, and won't use too much of your skills at all. I won't dive too deep into each class. There will be build for each class, because I got already build for every class and subclass on my channel. You will see it in the pinned comment if you want to learn more about classes, but today I will give you just awesome and effective builds with a little bit sprinkle of multiclassing. So every build will be self-sufficient, so you can pick whatever race you like. If you want to play dwarf, play dwarf. Pick whatever race you like. I will explain strong points on each build. For example, like Monk will have large movement speed, so you can increase it even more with Woodhub Elf and Fleet of Foot, Subrace Future, but that doesn't matter too much, so it's just a little sprinkle on the top of our cake. And kinda same goes for our backgrounds. For each build you can pick whatever background you like. If you like to have more deception and stealth abilities, go for criminal. If you want to be more strong, go for soldier with athletics and intimidation. Pick whatever race you like. So that was a little bit long introduction, but we need it, and let's start. So, you want to play Barbarian. When you're picking Barbarian, there's nothing to pick at the start beside your abilities. So when distributing abilities, make sure to make them even, because uneven abilities doesn't affect anything, only even ability stats. And maximum you could get when you're starting is 17 with +2 bonus, and there's 15 is maximum that you can allocate by your hands. So main attributes for Barbarian will be Strength and Constitution. So we adding bonuses to them and making them up to 16. That's our skill point ability point distribution. Barbarian got unarmored defense abilities, so we add our Constitution to our armor class when we wearing no armor at all. This is nice early game, but then in the mid game, in the late game, you want to get medium armor most of the time, so that's why our third most important stat is Dexterity, and we adding it up to 14. 14 is maximum that we need to make all use from medium armor, most of them at least. And we got 4 ability points. They will be used mostly for saving throws against some spells. And most common is Wisdom, that's why I like to get 12 in Wisdom with Barbarian. And just like that, let's start. So let's level up and finish our build. Second level, nothing special, getting some Barbarian features. Most importantly, Reckless attacks that will give you advantage on attack rolls. On third level, you finally can pick subclass as Barbarian. And for today's build, we're going with Berserker. It's easy, straightforward, and giving us awesome actions like Frenzied Strike that we can use with bonus action. And we're making melee attack with bonus action, and Enrage Throw, so we can throw some stuff or some people. So level 4, we're finally picking our feat. And for feat of choice, we pick an ability improvement and just adding to our strength. It will increase our chances to hit enemies, it will increase our power of strikes, so nice feat to have. And we want to get to level 5 as Barbarian, because it's like most important, our power spike level. We get extra attack, so right now we're making 2 attacks instead of 1 with 1 action. And we get fast movement, so we got increased movement while we're not wearing heavy armor, and we won't wear heavy armor anyway. And that's our breaking point. Next up, we're going to level 6. So level 6 Barbarian got some nice stuff like additional rage charge, mindless rage, but that's not too beneficial for us. And that's when we're starting to multiclass. If you can't multiclass, then you're playing on super easy difficulty. If you're playing on easy, you can change your difficulty before you change in class, add some multiclass, and then everything is fine. Just change difficulty back again to easy. So, multiclass. for Barbarian we're going with Rogue. Rogue will give us this ability to sneak attack from melee range, most importantly, and we get 2 abilities, 2 skill proficiency as a Rogue. That's nice to have too. And as Barbarian you want to go with Athletics 2 times, so you can shove people as much as you want if you need to. And then pick whatever you like. Doesn't matter too much, you can go with Stealth. And we're going with 3 levels of Rogue. So Rogue gives us a lot to Barbarian, and we don't need too much of Barbarian levels lately. So on 2nd level of Rogue we get in this Cunning Action Hide, Cunning Action Dash, Cunning Action Disengage. So we can use our bonus action to dash, and then we can go and basically attack enemies. But that's not it. We're going to our 3rd level of Rogue. So on level 8 you get in Rogue subclass. And for our subclass we begin Thief subclass, of course. And this subclass gives us additional bonus action. And that's just insane. So after that we can go with 1 more level of Rogue to get this feat, but I recommend to switch it back to Barbarian and finishing this build with Barbarian for now. So we get in level 9, we get in level in Barbarian, we got 6 Barbarian, 3 Rogue, and by the way all builds in the pinned comment. So on level 10 with 7 level Barbarian we get in this Feral Instinct, we get in +3 to Initiative. Level 11, that's when we get our Barbarian level 8 and we can pick our feat. So we can pick feats every 4 levels, most of the time, with most classes, subclasses. And for this feat we can go in 2 directions. We are pretty high level, we got pretty nice hit chance right now, at least we should, and we can go with Great Weapon Master for now. First of all, it will give you ability to attack with bonus action, but we have a lot of attacks with bonus action right now, so that's not most important stuff, but we can sacrifice -5 to attack roll while we get in this awesome ability to inflict 10 more damage with just passive future, so that's nice feat to have. Otherwise you can go with ability improvement and just add strength up to 20, just like that. And then again we can finish it with Barbarian, and this will give us brutal critical. So when we making critical strikes we'll rolling additional dice. But again, instead of rolling additional dice we can go into Rogue and get our last feat, and finally we're getting Great Weapon Master, just like that. So again, what is idea of all this series? I want to make build with just 12 active skills. So we still will use one wheel over here, with our potions, some exploration stuff, and just other stuff that you possibly will need. We still will use one wheel with shove, with jump, with dip, with dash, help, disengage, hide, with all this like basic stuff. This will be on this wheel. So when you want to use as other characters your bonus actions in the battle, you can use your bonus actions to drink potion with the right wheel, for example. Or you can use left wheel for jumping and other stuff. But middle wheel will be always for fighting, and we will use only 12 skills over here. And for Barbarian we can basically use only one wheel for this Rogue Barbarian. So let me show you this beast in action. About weapons and armors. So in the late game you can go weapons and armors. So in the late game you can stick with unarmored stuff, but 15 AC is not really good. So most of the time, closer to mid game, late game, to Act 2, Act 3, you want to get medium armor, and most of the time you want to get shield to increase your armor up to around 19, or with good armor, with good shield, you can have around 22-23 armor easily, with just armor and shield. So if you're going with this setup, you want to have something like long sword in your hand, and this will be your late game Barbarian. If you don't like shields, then go with two-handed great weapon, big strong weapon that's rolling 1d12 to make damage, plus your strength modifier +5. And what you want to have on your panel, you want to find your passives and add passive to your panel, so you can turn off or turn on it in a fight. As you can see right now, we got attack bonus +9. This means we got +9 to our rolls when we are attacking, but if we turn off this stuff, But with good weapons, with good rings, you will have a larger bonus. So make sure to understand when you want to turn this thing on. So let's go and show this bro in a battle. So basically as Barbarian, you want to start your fight with the Rage. You just use your Frenzy when you're this Frenzy Barbarian. And if you was like normal Barbarian, you would use your bonus action, and now you will have only action. Sometimes enemies is just too far away and you need to dash to them. If you dash and they won't attack you, you lose your Frenzy, because your Frenzy works only when you're doing or taking damage at least one time in a turn. So we totally cover it, so if we can't go to our enemies, we can use our cunning action dash from Rogue, and with bonus action we come nearby our enemy and attack them. If all enemies is nearby, we can go and basically attack them, that's all fine. Then, as Barbarian, we can make second attack. Easily we can make second attack, so we'll just look and we will be prompted, do we want to use our reckless attack? Always try to use it with reaction most of the time. You will gain advantage, so you try to roll one more time, but enemies will have advantage on you. He won't have advantage, he just died. And as Barbarian, as Rogue Barbarian like this, you will have 2 bonus actions every turn, so we can do 2 attacks in one turn. We can use 1 bonus action to make Frenzied attack, so we can make third attack in one turn with Frenzied strike. Or if we don't have movement speed, we can use bodies of our enemies and use Enrage Throw, just to pick up our enemy and throw them to other enemies, just like that. True Barbarian, insane. So final skill tree will look like this. You will have 3 slots for your weapon attacks, and you will have main weapon attack. You will have some bonus weapon actions, something like Cleave and Lacerate. Different weapons get different options. Then you got your Barbarian stuff, you got Reckless attack that will give you advantage. On attack roll you got Frenzied strike, and by the way you can turn it off of course, so use it only as reaction. But I hate reactions most of the time, so I just use it manually mostly. So you got Frenzied strike and Enrage throw, when you can use it when Frenzy is on. You got your like passive futures, you got Frenzy to turn it on in the fight with bonus action. You got passive turn on, turn off to inflict 10 more damage with lesser hit chance. And you got Prepare, so you can sacrifice your movement speed in a fight to do additional damage. And you got Rogue stuff, you got Cunning action dash, then you got Shove and Jump. That's like basic stuff, so you can shove enemies off the cliffs, just like that, and you can jump if you need to jump in some places. All of this just on one circle, and that's very enjoying to play. So you want to play Bard. So when you're creating Bard, you can choose 2 cantrips. We will go with Vicious Mockery as our damaging cantrip, and Minor Illusion as utility and some other stuff cantrip. So for spells, Bard is still like semi-supportive character no matter how you play him. We want to have Healing Word, of course, to heal our teammates, Long Strider to increase movement speed of our whole party without using spell slots, and Bard don't have a lot of spell slots, Fairy Fire to concentrate on this spell, and Feather Fall. That's very nice exploration stuff. When you need to jump from the buildings, from the big rocks, that's very nice to have. So ability distribution for Bard. Main attributes will be Charisma and Dexterity. Dexterity for our damaging stuff with our weapons, and Charisma our main ability casting attribute. So we go in 16 in both. Then again Constitution, we don't like to die, 14 in Constitution. And as Bard we can be more balanced type, go 10 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom. But when you're creating Bard, you got one like little problem. When you pick in any class as a starting class, you will gain saving throws. And game doesn't tell you this exactly. So saving throws, proficiency will add your proficiency, which is +4 on later levels, to saving throws of different stats. So Bard will get Dexterity and Charisma, and that totally makes sense. But when you're creating Bard, instead go and create Fighter. Fighter will give you Constitution saving throws, and Constitution will help you remain concentration on spells. That's like insane, cool, powerful stuff. Additionally, Fighter will give you proficiency with every type of armor, every type of weapon, and that's great. So when you're creating Fighter and you're picking Bard as your main class, decide what weapon you want to use on Bard. If you want to go with range weapons, go with archery. But if you want to be like melee Bard, as I will show you today, go with defense. Ability distribution, again, we don't want to respec a lot, so you can stick with distribution as I told you for Bard. That's totally okay to have like not best stats for one level. So weapons and armors. Most of the time you will be with medium armor. You even can go with heavy armor. You can go with one-handed or two-handed, depending on your style. And just like that, from start of the game, you can have around 18 armor class. When you get better armor, you can have a lot more. So let's level up. Instead of going to Fighter, we're switching to Bard and leveling up only Bard. So level 3, we're getting our Bard features, Resting Song, Jack of all trades, so we're getting proficiency bonus in skills that we are not proficient in. We're getting more spells. And we can go with any spells you like. Disguise Self is fun, cool spell to use. Speak with the animals, so you don't need to waste potions to speak with animals, it's fun to play. Level 4, that's where you get your subclass of Bard, and for today we're going with College of Swords. College of Swords will give us different cool flourishes. More of that in a second, so right now we're picking our spells from level 2. From level 2, I recommend to go in with Hold Person. And now we can pick our fighting style as College of Sword Bard. So we can go with Dueling. It will give us additional damage if we're using one weapon and shield, but this weapon should not be versatile or two-handed. Or we can go with two-weapon fighting. For today build, I go with two-weapon fighting because I will use double scimitar build or any double weapon build you like. So level 5, we're getting our feat. In our feat, if we're going with dual wielding, we want to have dual wielder feat. This will add bonus to armor class, and additionally we can use any weapon that is not heavy in any hand. For spells, go with See Invisibility, Phantasmal Force or Shatter. We want all the spells anyway. For cantrips, we don't care, we won't use a lot of cantrips. Level 5, we're getting spells from level 3. And again, for this build, I recommend going with some more like basic stuff or exploration stuff. Exploration mostly like blue perks, blue skills, spells, whatever. So, nice spells to have, again, Shatter and Phantasmal Force, you want to have them when you're leveling up. Bard's level 6, we're finally getting an extra attack, that's nice to have. We're getting all spells that we don't have right now, so Phantasmal Force. Level 8, go with whatever you don't have, Speak with the Dead or Speak with Animals. So level 9, we're getting Freedom of Movement, very nice spell to have. We can cast it from the start of the day, and we can't be magically paralyzed, restrained. Very nice spell to have, nice defensive stuff. And we get an additional feat, so our feat of choice right now would be getting additional dexterity. So we're not going too hard into charisma, we don't need a lot of spell slots, and we don't need to be so effective with our spells, at least for now. But of course, if you're using a lot of magic and using this Bard mostly as like caster, I will show you how I use him just in a second. You can go, and 2 points into charisma will be nice. So level 10, we get level 5 spells. Hold Monster, awesome spell, go with Hold Monster. Level 11, we get additional cantrip, we don't care, additional spells. Again, we don't care too much, go with exploration stuff, because animals I still don't have it. But we get these magical secrets, very cool, fun stuff. So we can pick spells from other classes. And we can pick 2 spells, I recommend going with Hast and Spirit Guardians. Yes, Spirit Guardians is insane for this build. And last level, instead of picking Bard spells, we don't need them, we're going back into Fighter. So we're finishing with Fighter and we're getting Action Surge at last level. So what do we have here? Why we picked Fighter again? To have this ability to remain concentration on our spells. So, early game how you play it. Most of the time you will use your concentration to remain concentrating on Fairy Fire. Fairy Fire is a spell that got radius, you cast it, and when it affects enemies or any stuff basically, your allies and you will have advantage on attack rolls against this stuff. Very cool, very fun stuff. Next up, you will use your concentration, and you can remain concentration only on one spell at a time to cast Phantasmal Force on your enemies. It will damage them each turn. If you need to attack many enemies in one area, you go with Shatter. That's your early game. That's how you and what you do in early game. But then when you level up a little bit, your build will look like this. Finished build. You switch Phantasmal Force and Shatter and Fairy Fire for these 4 concentration spells, and now you will choose from one of these spells. First of all, of course, as Bard, you got this Bardic Inspiration, but as College of Sword Bard, you want to use your Bardic Inspiration mostly on flourishes. They using your Bardic Inspiration. So still, you can use it outside of the battle to inspire your teammates, so they will succeed on some ability checks, but again, we don't need it too much. On the right circle, you got, like how I call it, start of the day circle. So you got Long Strider, you can upcast it and cast on your whole party, so whole party will get this buff with an increased movement speed in battle. Then speak with the dead, you can cast it on any dead, so you will speak with them for all day. If you want to, again, it's not using any spell slots. Same, speak with animals, cast it on yourself, but you will speak with the animals. Same with see invisibility, it will use spell slot, but that's okay. You can see invisible units all day. Same with disguise yourself. If you want to be like another creature, you totally can go and disguise yourself as any creature you like. And that's our like right circle. Most importantly, you want to cast this freedom of movement, so you can't be stunned. You can be stunned, but you can't be paralyzed. And Counter Charm over here, again, if you need it in battle, you just go, cast it, and for 3 turns you have advantage on saving throws. But okay, our main skills over here. We got our main weapon attack, we got additional weapon skill that we will use. So you can have Flourish or Lacerate, whatever you're using. We got our offhand attack, so we got dual wielding weapons, we attack with 2 weapons, and that's nice to have over here. We got 1 cantrip, Minor Illusion, it works, it's basically nice to have in a fight, outside of the fight, or if you don't like it, you can change it for other weapon attack like Flourish, basic Flourish with your weapon. So, you got your bonus action Healing Word, so you still can heal yourself and your teammates with bonus action, but most importantly you got this combination of 4 spells that require concentration, and you need to decide what you want in a fight. Do you want Haste? Do you want Hold Summon? Do you want Hold Big Monster? So Hold Person for humanoids, Hold Monster for big monsters or every other creature. But most of the time you will use the Spirit Guardians, and let me show you how you do it. So what you want to do, you want to start your fight basically with turning on the Spirit Guardians. And because we started with Fighter, you can turn on this Spirit Guardians, you can upcast it up to level 5, so they will do more damage for 10 turns. And because we started with Fighter again, we can not only just run and kill everyone just by running nearby them, we keeping our concentration better, because we got proficiency in Constitution saving throws, and that's big stuff. So just like that you fighting, but that's not it. While you're doing damage to nearby enemies with the Spirit Guardians, you still can use, on the next turn you still can use your Flourishes to push enemies or to increase your armor class when you're standing still and taking a lot of hits. So for example, right now we got 19 armor class, we just use Flourish, and just like that we got 23 armor class for next turn. That's great, that's a great part. So we got 2 attacks, we can use 2 flourishes in 1 turn basically, but of course we can use Action Surge as fighters, so we get additional action, and that's the coolest part. So you can even start your fight with turning on Spirit Guardians and then going in and making 2 attacks, and you can make them with flourishes. That's like super great and crazy stuff. But there's another combination. Instead of just Action Surge, you can use Haste to concentrate on this spell, and this will give you bonus action, so normal action, not bonus action but additional action. And this means you can make 4 attacks in 1 turn, plus additional attack with your offhand weapon. But you need to choose, do you want to concentrate on Haste or do you want to concentrate on Spirit Guardians? So just look how much damage we can make in 1 turn. We are attacking with our Spirit Guardians once, then we can make our Flourishes. And there's even Flourish to attack 2 enemies at once, so if you see 2 enemies nearby, you can attack 2 enemies with 1 attack, There's cool flourish that will push enemies away. Awesome stuff. It will give you ability to teleport to this enemy just afterwards, so you can push enemies outside of your allies range. And then when you're out of actions, you just go and make action surge. So you make one attack and one more attack if you need to. And that's great and that's awesome. Yeah, I see some people commentating that why you missing level 1 characters. First of all, he's not level 1. Second of all, missing or hitting enemies depend only on armor class. So this dude got 18 armor class. This is like pretty big number. And when you're trying to attack guys with this high armor class, you need good weapons with bonus to attack. So I'm showing it with basic weapons, and you will miss 50% of the time to these targets. That's totally normal. So you want to play Cleric. As Cleric, again, you want to start as Fighter for same reasons. First of all, Cleric and Fighter got kind of the same proficiency in armor. But Fighter got more proficiency with weapons, basically with every weapon, that's cool part. But most importantly, Cleric liked to take some concentration spells, and to keep our concentration going on, we need concentration saving throws. That's why we're going with Fighter as level 1. For Cleric, go with defense always. You don't need any other fighting classes. Your main ability will be Wisdom for casting, and Constitution for keeping concentration, for having more health points. So Wisdom and Constitution is main abilities. Next up, depending on what armor you want to take. If you want to go with heavy armor, then just dump Dexterity and get Strength up to 14. That will be a nice start to go. 10 Dexterity just to have some initiative is nice, but especially for Clerics, I like to go with this stat. Why Clerics don't need initiative? Because if you fighting as first one is in Cleric, you can't heal your party, because your party haven't took any damage for now. So having Dexterity pretty low is normal. Then just add some Intelligence or Charisma to have some saving throws. Charisma is a nice stat to have. And that will be our Cleric. So let's build first level Fighter, then we're switching to Cleric. So instantly we're going to Cleric, and my recommendation will go Light Domain Cleric. Life will be healer based, Light Domain will be more like caster based Cleric. You will have a lot of cool spells. But for today we're going with Tempest Domain Cleric. So Cleric knows all spells, but we need to prepare some. Preparing spells will be Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds, Healing Word, and Bless. Bless is a nice spell to have concentration on. For cantrips, you don't need a lot of cool stuff. You just need Guidance, and this is kind of passive stuff that will help your party in dialogues. And other cantrips don't matter too much. Sacred Flame is a nice damaging cantrip, but it's doing really low damage, and most of the time it just misses. So we don't care about cantrips. So we're building Tempest Domain Cleric today, and basically our road will be to get 10 levels in Tempest Domain Cleric. So final build with spells I will tell you in the end. Right now, let me just focus on important features you will get. So as Tempest Domain Cleric, you can use Divinity Charge to deal maximum damage with Thunder or Lightning damage. Level 5, that's where you get in your feat. So for our feat of choice as Cleric, we can go into Wisdom, just to make our spells hit more often. So level 6, that's where it's becoming broken. Let me show you this Cleric at level 6 a little bit, what you want to do. So 1 Fighter, 5 Cleric. What we have at this level, because Cleric got a lot of skills. So you should wear at these levels, because we dumped Dexterity, we don't have this armor bonus, some heavy armor. And with just fully basic stuff, you will have around 19 armor class. That's already great, So your spells right now will look something like this. You got normal attack. As Cleric you still will attack, because spell slots are limited anyway with every class. You got melee damaging spell, Inflict Wounds. So if you're in melee range, you can go and inflict wounds. If you're in range, use Guiding Bolt and just throw it at enemy in doing damage. Most of the time you won't use spell slots for this stuff, but still you can use it. As level 1 spells, it's making pretty nice damage. So as Cleric, you supportive character, you need to heal your party, and you got Healing Word with bonus action. You can heal any creature you like, one creature. Mass Healing Word, high level spell, but heals in large radius, so everyone nearby will be healed. Revivify, if you failed to heal persons, you can revive them with a spell, not with some other stuff. You don't need any scrolls and lesser restoration. If your teammates got poison, paralysis or blindness effect, you can heal them with this stuff. If you need to hold some humanoids, enemies, just use hold person. Sometimes you will need it. Bless. It will bless persons and it will require you to concentrate on this stuff. So, if your party doing more damage right now, maybe they get nice gear, nice bows, nice weapons, and you want them to hit more often. If you're not relying on your cleric to hit your enemies, then go with Bless. So bless your party and you will hit more often. If you need to shove someone, use Thunder Wave, just like that, and you can use Destructive Breath, your channel Divinity Charge, to inflict maximum damage on this spell, but you can use it once per short rest, so you need to use short rest to recharge this stuff. But what you want to do and what you will to do, you will decide. Do you want Spirit Guardians? Cause this stuff, they will run around you and you will damage all nearby enemies while you're doing your stuff. But you're a Tempest Cleric, you got some other concentration spells like Cold Lighting. So what is it? It's doing more damage than Spirit Guardians. But with Spirit Guardians you can run around and damage enemies. But with Cold Lighting you can damage enemies in a circle area. So what is cool about this? When you cast it one time, you can cast it again for 10 turns in a row. And you can upcast it when you level up a little bit more. It's a 3rd level spell. But you can upcast it then to up to level 5 to level 6 and make incredible amount of damage. That's actually insane, because right now you got only 2 spell slots of level 3, and this means you can cast it 20 times, basically 20 times per day. That's insane stuff. And because we started as fighter, it will be easier to keep concentration. So let's level up. So Cleric is melee class, you will be in melee range most of the time, and at level 7, when you stand in melee range and deal lighting or thunder damage, you will push it up to 3 meters. That's cool part. Level 9, you get action. Now you can inflict more damage with normal attacks, and you get more feats. So for feats, if you want to make sure to keep concentration even more, you can go with Warcaster. It will give you advantage on saving throws to remain concentration. And this means you will not only have high rate and high chance to keep your concentration, but also you will roll 2 dice. So rolling 2 dice is nice way to keep concentration forever. Then you get in level 10 with Cleric, you will get Divine Intervention, that's cool stuff. And finish with Cleric at level 11 to get access to level 6 spells. So final build will look like this. You will get your Divine Intervention, use it and get a Legendary Weapon. Legendary Weapon is pretty nice to have. So basically you're getting this Devotee's Mace, very nice weapon to have. Then as Cleric, you can use spells like Planar Ally, Animate Dead to make your summon zombies, Planar Ally, nice summon too. And you can put it on any circle, you can use them before fight so you can have your summons ready. That's nice stuff to have. Another good spell that you will use off fight is Hero's Fist, just to have additional health points. So pick whatever you like, Planar Ally or Hero's Fist. You can cast only 1 level 6 spell per day. But I recommend not going too hard with these level 6 spells, you don't need them too much. And basically in the late game, you most of the time will remove this poison stuff and use potions to remove poison most of the time. And actually you don't need even 12 spells. You will focus as this cleric mostly on level 1, 2, 3 spells with your healing words, so you can heal yourself and your allies. And spells you can add is Dash Ward. You can cast it outside of the battle, but then you can cast it in the battle, so when you die, you basically not die, you're revived at 1 hit point, pretty useful stuff even in the battle. Most of the time, if enemy doing more damage than you possibly could take, it's better to use Dash Ward instead of healing, actually. And Guardian of Face, you will place Guardian, he will just stay in area and defend everyone. And your fight basically will look something like this. You can use your level 1 spells to inflict damage, of course, but most of the time you will use your Cold Lighting. And don't cast it with level 3. Better upcast it always. And as you can see, we just saved from this Cold Lighting, I cast it on myself. And don't cast it as level 3, better upcast it up to level 6. It will do 6 to 60 damage, 6d10. And you can cast it basically every turn, and you can even make this stuff so you make maximum damage possible one time. That's great stuff. and basically all you will do, you just go to your enemies, stand nearby of them, and use your bonus actions to heal your teammates if needed. As fighter, as level 1 fighter, you can use second wind just to heal yourself with bonus action without using any spell slots, and every turn you will use this additional activate called lighting, and it won't use any spell slots, and still it will be as level 6 spell. That's like crazy stuff, so you will cast it, and that's just insane. And while you just standing nearby enemies, you still threatening them. They can't go away, or they will provoke opportunity attack, and you will attack them with your weapon. And that's like greatest part of this build, so it's insane, it's cool and fun to play. So, you want to play Druid. Today's Druid will be Moon Druid. So, first cantrips is Shillelagh and Torn Whip, very nice cantrips to have. So, for abilities goes like this. Main spellcasting attribute is Wisdom, of course, so we add into Wisdom as main attribute. And then there's a catch. So, Moon Druid most of its time will be in animal form. And when you're going into animal form, you lose Strength, Dexterity, Constitution stats. You're not losing them, but they are affected by your form. And you will keep only Intelligence, Wisdom and Charisma. So, to make better saving throws when you're in animal form, you want to have higher Intelligence, higher Charisma, something like that. But still, when you out of this form, you want to be able to be like normal person and don't die instantly. So Wisdom will be always its main stat, but then you want to have some Constitution, some Dexterity and some Strength, just around 10. So our final distribution can look something like this. We go 16 into Wisdom with +2 bonus, 12 Charisma, 12 Intelligence, 14 Constitution, 10 Strength, and Dexterity at 11 with +1 bonus, so we got 12 in Dexterity. Really very balanced, awesome character to go with. Your early game as a Druid will be with Shield and medium armor most of the time to get just maximum armor class, so when you're out of your Druid form, you got some armor, and you still can't transform into bears right now, so that's totally nice. So for our skills, of course, we're using main hand attack, and when we got club or staff in our hand, we can use Shillelagh, and it will become magical, and will do nice damage, 4 to 11 damage, it's very decent stat. That's basically what you want to do as early game Druid, and another cantrip, Torn Whip, so you can pull enemies to you, just to use this cantrip on your enemies, and it will pull them. Pretty nice to use too, or pull them off the cliffs. So for your spells of choice in the game, go with Healing Word. Druid is a supportive character after all, so you want to heal your teammates from time to time at least. Long Strider and Enhanced Leap for exploration, leave it in outer circle. And in the game, Fairy Fire is nice stuff to have, so you can concentrate on it and have advantage on attack rolls against enemy. Or Thunder Wave if you want to have like nice spellcasting stuff. So let's level up. So today we're making Circle of the Moon. On second level you can pick this subclass, and what is cool, you can use Wild Shape with bonus actions. This means you can start the fight without Wild Shape, they go into Wild Shape, and even attack at the same turn. That's very cool stuff to have. Prepared spells, again we don't care too much, let's level up a little bit. And basically we're leveling to max level right now. I will tell you what feats you want to have on the road and when you want to multiclass. And feats is really basic, just go with ability improvement and improve your wisdom. So level 6, that's our kinda breaking point. So at this point of the game, you can forget Shillelagh, you won't be attacking with your normal attack too much. You still can use your cantrip, you get your Cold Lighting, so you can cast it, and while keeping concentration on this stuff, you can basically continue casting it every turn. Nice spell to have. But when you're going into Wild Shape, you will break concentration on this spell, so make sure to understand when going into Wild Shape. As you can see, no concentration at all. By the way, I got video with all Druid Wild Shapes showcased and explained. Check it in the pinned comment, go to Moon Druid guide. But stuff like Fairy Fire, for example, you cast it, you will get advantage on this stuff. You go into Wild Shape, and Fairy Fire is still active. That's why you want to have this stuff on your panel like Fairy Fire, because you can cast it with your actions and you can go into Wild Shape and then you can go and attack with advantage. Same goes for Spike Growth. That's very nice stuff. You can cast it, you can go into Wild Shape, and enemies will have hard time traveling around here, and at level 6 you can go into Wild Shape into All Bear. So just go and become All Bear. And while it's not cool for you to travel over here, as All Bear you can jump around this stuff and destroy enemies over here. Just like that, very cool stuff. So let's continue our leveling. And additional stuff like this will work too, something like Flaming Sphere. So Flaming Sphere requires concentration. Again, you can summon it and become any animal you like, and you will control yourself and Flaming Sphere in a fight. So let's finish leveling. And right now we got little catch with Druid. When you level in Druid, most of the time you don't want to multi-class out of this class, because all Druid forms and other cool stuff leveling with Druid, basically with Druid level, so we want as much Druid levels as possible. I recommend to going up to level 7 to unlock Minor Elemental and Woodland Being, so you can summon Dryad and some Minor Elemental. So summons is really nice to have when you're playing Druid. Additionally, you will have this freedom of movement, you can cast it from the start of the day and you won't be affected by difficult terrain, very cool stuff. But on level 8, you don't have anything like super cool. You got Sable-Toothed Tiger, Wild Shape, but you don't need it. You got Feet, but you don't need Feet right now too. So instead of like going and taking Feet, you can go and multi-class into Cleric. So what you get from Cleric? First of all, you get this heavy armor proficiency, so you can wear heavy armor if you need to, in your normal form. You don't care too much about this stuff. With Cleric, we're picking a Life Domain Cleric. So, with just one level into Cleric, at this point you will improve all your healing spells, and then just switch back to Druid. So as Druid, I recommend going with Warcaster. We don't have proficiency in Constitution saving throws, so at least having advantage is nice. And basically we're finishing our leveling. At level 10 you get 2 additional attacks after making attack in Wild Shape, very cool stuff. So you can prepare a lot of exploration stuff like Enhanced Leap, Speak with Animals, Long Strider. You can prepare it on another circle, cast it from the start of the day. You will have more movement speed in a battle and your team too. And basically your gameplay will look something like this. You summon your Dryad, you summon Minor Elemental, and you like. As Dryad, you can summon one more dude, his name is Groot, just like that. And to summon Conjure Elemental, you can upcast it up to level 6 and summon Myrmidon, very strong dude. If you upcast it to level 6, you won't be able to cast level 6 spells, so make sure to understand this. Or just summon dudes from level 5, you totally can do this. And in a fight, if you need more setup against strong enemies, you can use Plant Growth, create this difficult terrain. And coolest part, everyone who standing nearby this Dryad is immune to difficult terrain. So as Dryad, you can summon Spike Growth and make even more difficult terrain that will damage your enemies. With Elementals you can use a lot of skills, and this Plant Growth not require any concentration. So as Druid, you can cast Insect Plague, you can upcast it, or you can cast it as level 5 normally, so it will make even more difficult terrain and damage everyone who goes nearby. And you can go into Wild Shape. So just like that, you go into Wild Shape, and you can still keep concentration on this stuff. So my favorite Wild Shape is All Bear from animal forms. It got high strength, so high damage, nice constitution, 17 is very good, high health points. But when you level up to later levels, cool stuff to have is this Myrmidon shapes. But make sure to understand that these shapes require 2 Wild Shape charges, so you can use it only 1 time per battle. And that's totally nice to use them 1 time per battle, because in later game you can start something like this. You can use your Cold Lighting as your concentration spell, you can upcast it to best spell slot possible and basically use your action to use this stuff and use your bonus action to use Healing Word with first and second level spell slots. So you can heal yourself, your teammates and your summons, and it will heal even more than needed because you got 1 level in Cleric. And then when time comes, you just go and transform to any Myrmidon you like. I like Ash Myrmidon, he's a really strong dude. Fire is nice too. And now you're playing Myrmidon, just like that. Druid is really fun to play. So, you wanna play Fighter. Again, Fighter can be any fighter you like. It will use little amount of spell slots on your circle. But today we will make a fighter with a lot of skills, and it will be a very funny fighter with 1 level deep. So while Fighter is really like cool class and you can totally go 12 levels into Fighter easy, today I want to make like multi-class builds that is at least somewhat fun. So fighting style for Fighter, want more damage, go dueling, want more armor class, that's what I like, go with defense, and want more damage with one-handed weapon, just with one weapon, go with dueling of course. If you want big bad weapon, two-handed weapons, go with great weapon fighting of course, that's what you want to do. If you want dual wield, go with 2-weapon fighting. It doesn't matter too much with this build today, so it doesn't matter, you can go with whatever you like. Abilities is important. So for Fighter it's Strength and Constitution. You want to have 16 in each, so you will have a lot of hit points and a lot of power. Then depending on your armor. If you want to go with heavy armor, you don't need dexterity, so you can have a little dexterity, like 8 or 10. It won't give you penalty to your initiative. But if you like medium armor, and there's a lot of cool medium armors in the game, go with 14. That's nice to have. And if you dumped dexterity, go with balanced character like this, go with 10 10 10 and like 14 in wisdom. This will be nice distribution, so this is like most common saving throws. Wisdom is like most common saving throw, and having 14 is nice. Otherwise, dump intelligence, have 10 in wisdom and get 14 in dexterity, something like that. And let's level up. So today we're making cool skilled fighters that is interesting to play. And level 2 we get action surge, we can have additional action per fight, per short rest. Then we get into level 3. Level 3 will give us additional subclass, and our subclass for today will be Battle Master. Most interesting subclass for fighters. Because Eldritch Knight is cool, you got a lot of spells, cantrips, so we don't need this when we're playing on PlayStation. And actually it's a really weak character in my opinion. Champion, on the other hand, very strong, you got improved critical hit from the start, very cool stuff. You can score critical hit not only on 20 but also on 19 when you're rolling, and it can be improved with later weapons and armors, very cool stuff. But we go with Battle Master, and Battle Master will unlock us maneuvers. Maneuvers is cool stuff that you can use in a fight to make some cool attacks on enemies. What we're going for? We're going for disarming attack. It can disarm our enemies and they will drop their weapons, very fun stuff. Then pushing attack, if you need to push enemies away, very cool stuff too. And trip attack, it will make your enemies prone, they will lie on the ground and you will have advantage on attack rolls against them. So when we get to level 4 we get our ability improvement and just go straight into strength, just like this. Level 5 we get extra attack, cool feature for fighters, so now we're doing 2 attacks with 1 action, awesome stuff. Level 6, only class that will have additional feat on level 6 is Fighter, so at level 6 we can max out our strength. Now we have +5 to attack rolls, insane stuff. And right now on level 7 we get additional maneuvers and additional superiority dice. But do we need it right now? No, so I got some secret way to play this stuff. So we get in 1 level in Warlock. That's very unique way to play this, but it's cool and fun. So for cantrips we don't care too much, we won't use them a lot as fighter, we don't want to use our action to cast cantrip anyway. So you can pick something like for exploration, like Mage Hand and Minor Illusion, you will use it outside of the battle. And we won't use Eldritch Blast for the same reason, we will have really weak Eldritch Blast and Eldritch Blast casted with Charisma, we have low Charisma, we don't need this stuff. But we pick a great old one subclass, so we get this ability to frighten creatures if we land critical hit, and we get in Hellish Rebuke and Expeditious Retreat spells from Warlock. So what do we have right now? First of all, we get in this expeditious retreat. So we cast it at the start of the day, it will use our spell slot, and now we can use dash bonus action. So as fighter, we can basically go and dash in the fight easily. And then use our action to make attacks and not just stand still. So that's cool, and we get it as soon as level 1. Sad part, it's Warlock at level 1, we get only 1 spell slot. But again, we recharge it on short rest, so when you short rested, if you still keep your concentration on this dash bonus action, you can use reaction in fight instead. I will show you in a second how this looks like. So right now, instead of not going to enemy because you don't have large movement speed, you can use your bonus action, dash, and basically come nearby enemies. You can make 2 attacks, and then you can use action search and make 2 more attacks. All these attacks can be made with your superiority dice and battle maneuvers. So what is maneuvers? Trip attack will make enemies prone, they will lie on the ground. Pushing attack will push the enemies off the bounce, just like that. If they not succeed, they will just be pushed away. And we can make it 2 times in a turn, that's like great part. And even 4 times with action search. All of this stuff recharging on short rest, so as fighter you can heal yourself in the fight with bonus action, and basically on first turn you're using dash with bonus action, on second turn you're using your second wind as bonus action, you're using your maneuvers, your normal strikes, and coolest part, if you got the spell slot, so you can use your reaction, and your reaction is hellishly book, so basically you turning away and attacking with fire. Very nice stuff to have too. So you are cool, versatile, and very fun to play fighter, but let's finish our level. So after this 1 level in Warlock, we're switching back to the fighter. We're getting 2 more maneuvers, and nice maneuver is precise attack and fainting attack. So you can use bonus action and action at the same time, and you will attack target with advantage. So that's nice part when you just need advantage on your target, when you need to hit and finish your target. So level 9, our fighter level 8, we get an additional feat as fighter, we get in at level 4, 6 and 8. And our feats right now can be different feats actually. But I would go with something that uses your weapon. So if you're dual wielding, it's totally fine, go with dual wielder. If you're using big weapon, go with a great weapon master. Or you can anyway go with great weapon master. So that's nice feat to have. You will have -5 to attack roll, but you can totally go around it with battle master, and it will add flat 10 damage to your strikes. That's crazy stuff. Additional cool stuff that you can have as this type of character is sentinel, to have this opportunity attack when someone attacking your allies that is nearby. You using your reaction to attack them and they will stay in one place. That's nice feat to have. Next up, we get in proficiency in saving throws. So when we fail in saving throws, we roll in 1 more time. It's like advantage, not proficiency. On level 11, we're getting our superiority dice buffed up to 1d10 and getting 2 more maneuvers. So more maneuvers, we don't need a lot of them, but nice stuff to have is a riposte. So when enemy attacks you, with melee attack, you can use superiority die to make attack against them. Very nice, like kinda reaction, but it's not using reaction if I'm not mistaken. And distracting strike, sometime your allies is better than you in fighting with your enemy. So to give them advantage on their attack rolls, you can use distracting strike. And then we're finishing with our fighter at level 11 to get this improved extra attack. So we're making 2 additional attacks in 1 action, that's crazy. And that's our final circle. So we have normal attack, we have some slots for your weapon attacks like lacerate, you can add flourish or extra weapon attacks that you have. And we have 6 or even, we have 6 maneuvers. So trip attack to make enemies prone, pushing attack to push them away, disarming attack to make them disarm. So let's try to hit Lae'zel to demonstrate. As you can see, she just dropped her sword, you can pick up. So when enemy got nice sword, you can go disarm him, pick his sword and have fun with it. Advantage for yourself, go with this fainting attack, it will use action and bonus action, or go with distracting strike to give advantage to your allies, or precision attack, it's not using any action, bonus action or other stuff, but you can use your superiority die to give you additional chance to attack your enemy. So how this works? Yeah, and of course, basic fighter stuff, action search, and second wind. So again, how all of this stuff works. Basically, you attacking your enemies that is nearby, then you need to travel to next enemies, but you don't have this distance most of the time as normal fighter, but with just level in Warlock, you get this dash bonus action, so you can use your bonus action to travel to another enemy, attack him, because you got 3 attacks with 1 action, and you can even go and attack another enemy. That's broken, that's cool, that's fun. Most importantly, you can use your action search and make 3 more attacks with 1 additional action if you need to. If you got the sentinel trait, feat, you can attack enemies with your reaction as sentinel, that's cool and fun. But okay, let's look. We got 60% chance to attack this dude. If we use our action and bonus action, we can have advantage, and it will be 84%. And it will use superiority die too. But we can use precision attack just before this stuff, and for our next attack we'll have 1d10 bonus superiority die, and now we can use fainting attack with 98% chance to attack this dude. Again, we're attacking with normal weapon without any bonuses, and this dude got 18 armor class. It's pretty high, you won't find a lot of enemies with this high armor class in the game. So fainting attack, just insane. But at the same time, we can normally use disarming attack with really high chance too. So just like that, we can go and try to disarm this bro. Using superiority die not require you any action, bonus action, other stuff, so you can use it before every attack. So he saves, it's totally normal. We can use action search again for 3 more attacks. And we got 2 more superiority dice, so we can try it 2 times. And as you can see, weapon dropped, so we can pick up this Everburn blade. Next turn we can even equip this Everburn blade, and this dude will be forced to attack with his bare hands right now. So this is like super fun and cool future. And of course we can use this trip attack to make him prone if we hit. Yeah, we hit, but he saved, and again we got 1 more attack. All of this just in 12 actions, and we can use second wind to heal ourselves if we need to. Very fun, cool build. So, you wanna play Monk. This will be first class that won't be multiclassed at all. I actually enjoy this pure Monk experience, so let me explain you how you level up him and what stats to have. So Monk main stats is dexterity and wisdom. No matter what class of Monk you pick, wisdom will affect many characteristics, because Monk got unarmored defense that will be affected by wisdom, and his basic attacks will be affected by dexterity most of the time, if you're not getting into high strength, but you don't need to. Additionally, wisdom will be affecting your attacks from your basic bare hands. So dexterity 16, wisdom 16. Make sense. Again, as any other class, you don't want to die, so you want higher constitution as high as possible. So 14 is a nice place to start. Sometimes you want to shove people or just wherever, so sometimes you just need to jump higher. Strength is nice characteristic too. And you can dump intelligence and charisma totally and get 12 into strength, so you can get more jumps. That's what we will do right now. But you can have 10 strength and get, for example, 10 charisma for saving throws. This works too. So Monk, level 1, let's go. What do we have as Monk as level 1? Most of the time you will have quarter staff or some weapon, and you will always attack with your weapon. And you got your key points. So key points used to use your bonus action, some cool stuff as Monk. Flurry of blows, making 2 unarmed attacks. Right now they're not too strong, but again they used as bonus action, so Monk level 1, really strong, really cool dude. Let's level up. When leveling up, you will get additional key points and some cool stuff like more movement speed when you wearing no armor, and wearing no armor doesn't require you to get off your clothes. So you got clothes, not armor. Let me show you. For example, Barbarian clothes is clothes basically. It's not armor, and it will be used as normal clothes. You're totally fine with this. So second level will give you ability to spend your key points and bonus action to give enemies disadvantage against you on attack rolls, to use dash as bonus action, and disengage as bonus action. So it's kinda same as Rogue, but uses key points. That's worst part about it. because you want to use your key points on more cool stuff, and we will be going with Way of the Open Hand Monk. Most simple but effective and very cool, fun to play Monk. This Monk will get this flurry of blows, topple, stagger and push actions. It uses key points and it can make your enemies prone, it can make them stagger, so they won't be able to take reactions. You can stagger them and run away, so they can't use the opportunity attack, or push, just to push target 5 meters away. Level 4 we get in feet, and as Monk you want to get as fast as possible all dexterity possible, so you want to max out on dexterity. Level 5, as any other martial class, you get this extra attack and stunning strike, melee and unarmed, so you can use key points and action to stun your enemy. Very cool stuff too. Level 6, that's where you get your passives, and most importantly key empowered strike. So now your unarmed attack counts as magical and you won't be affected by resistances of enemies. That's coolest part. So this Monk on this level basically can 100% forget about weapons and use only his armor. But make sure to go into your passives, I don't know where it is on console, and turn on any of these passives. This will add damage to your unarmed attacks. So this will add, as you can see, necrotic, radiant or psychic damage. Most of the time there's no resistances to this type of damages, so you can pick whatever damage you like, but you can examine your enemies and check out if they got resistance to radiant damage, then just cast any other passive that you wish. And your circle will look like this. You will have unarmed attack, so basic unarmed attack, just go into attack with your fist. You got different topples, flurry of blows, so stagger, topple, push, whatever you like more. In case you need your dash with bonus action, you can use key points for this stuff, or disengage, or just stay in the place. Sometimes you need to stun people, so you will have the stunning strike. Wellness of body, very cool stuff. You will restore your key points and you will get 2 bonus actions at the same time. So very cool stuff. You can use 2 flurry of blows right now and you will recover 1 bonus action per turn. At the same time, after Monk makes unarmed attack, they have bonus action, bonus unarmed attack, so you can make 2 unarmed attacks in quick succession in 1 turn, basically. Very cool stuff. And that's all you need. Of course, jump on the main plate, I think it's important stuff to have. And basically we're finishing with Monk. On level 8 we get an additional feat, go into dexterity and make it to 20. On level 9 you get resonating punches, very cool stuff, in a second. And on last level you get an additional feat. And what is good feats for Monk? You can see even on my channel a lot of builds with Stubborn Brawler. It's nice late game style when you got a lot of potions and you can have high strength. So you will add strength to your attack rolls, and that's cool stuff to have. But another cool choices could be mobile, to give you even more movement speed, so you can run very big distances in a fight. Lucky is just overall nice feat to get advantage on attack rolls and reroll some rolls. Or you can go into ability improvement and have more health points with constitution. As you can see, we got only 87 right now, and we can finish at 100 at 11. Or we can go into wisdom and have more armor class, so why not? Pick whatever you want from these types of choices. But of course, wisdom will add damage to our passives. And now our passive will make additional 5 to 8 damage. And that's cool part, so let me show you this Monk in action. But first of all, let's make our circle going on. So I found myself not using disengage or defense too much, and you can just get away without it. Well, wellness of body is really cool stuff. It will heal you, it will heal your key points, and you will get bonus action, very cool stuff. But you can go and drop it on side panel, so it's totally nice. So what we have here, normal attack, stunning attack, and jump. That's totally nice. Here we got our key resonate combo. So what is this? Basically you need to go to creature, attack with your fist, and if you succeed, they will be resonating. And you got it as action and bonus actions. That's like coolest part of this Monk. Of course you still got your flurry of blows, and basically you got 2 combinations. Flurry of blows, stunning strike, normal attack will be used against solo targets. So you're fighting against big, bad, strong, scary boss. You will use normal attack, flurry blows, and stunning strike. That's it. You don't need anything else. But if you're fighting a lot of enemies, that's pretty healthy, got large health pools on the later stages of the game, you can do this key resonating combo. I will show it in a minute. First of all, normal fight. Again, as Monk, you can travel large distances, and that's the coolest part. So you can use your key points to have dash as bonus action and just go and attack your enemies. So just one attack, second attack, and as Monk you don't have third attack, so you can travel a lot more. As you can see, we're just running whenever we want, wherever we want, and that's fun. High movement speed is always fun to have. And if we made normal attack, of course we can use our additional unarmed strike, don't forget. Damage is insane, really nice damage. If there's a lot of enemies with high amount of health points, you want to go and use your key resonation punches. So by using this punch, they will resonate with you for 10 turns. So as you can see, resonating key on this bro. You can use it as extra attack, so with normal punch, extra attack, and bonus action, you can use it basically 3 times. That's insane. So we can definitely use this on this bro too. He is resonating at the same time, and we can use it more, but these guys will die, so I don't want to use it right now. Don't forget we can use unarmed strike to make even more damage to our enemies. And you will see this like pop up resonating key on the top bar, so 10 turns they resonating. Additionally, they will be like this glowed up. So what will happen on the next turn? Without any action, bonus action or other stuff, you can use this key resonation blast, or even on the same turn, of course. And if you got a wholeness of body active, you will have 2 bonus actions, so basically you can go and resonate with 4 persons at the same time. And then you use your key resonation blast, it will do 3d6 force damage. Look at this stuff, and it will also activate all resonating enemies in the same circle. So as you can see, circle around this bro will activate this bro resonation, and circle around him will activate any other resonation if we have this. So let's use it. And as you can see, everyone destroyed with crazy resonation blast. And we not using any action bonus actions, that's like coolest part, so we can use wholeness of body, use bonus action flurry of blows. We're restoring our key points, we can use this 2 times in 1 turn, very cool stuff, and again, that's like incredible. So, you wanna play a Ranger. We're starting with Bounty Hunter. You will gain proficiency in investigation, very nice to have, just for fun, when you're exploring this game, and most importantly, creatures you hit with ensnaring strike will have disadvantage on saving throw, so you will most likely land this ensnaring strike. Then, Natural Explorer. Don't pick a beast tamer, you can go with whatever you like, you can go with some protection from fire, poison, cold. Poison is strong stuff, very nice to have poison resistance. Urban Tracker will give you proficiency in sleight of hand, so if you're feeling like rogue slot in the party, if you want to disarm a lot of traps, lockpick chests, or just pickpocket people, go with this. Otherwise, go with poison. Ability distribution. So main attribute is dexterity, because we will be going with ranged weapon like short bow, long bow, whatever you like, whatever you're proficient with. If you play normal elf, you will be able to pick long bows, but most of the classes don't have this long bow proficiency. So next up, Constitution. We want to be healthy. And we don't need a lot of strength and a lot of other stats, so we don't need them, so why not to have high constitution? 16 dexterity, 16 constitution, we don't need intelligence, just dump it. Strength to 10, so we can shove some time, at least some time, jump some distance, very nice to have. Intelligence we're dumping, wisdom 14, that's our spellcasting attribute, and it will affect some stuff that we have. Otherwise we can go 12 over here, something like this. This will work, but I like going 14 into wisdom and 10 into charisma. Just like that, let's go. So as ranger, you want to have shield. As this type of ranger, shield will just add to your armor class. and you will be playing with a bow. So we are Ranger that's using bow. We are range class. So right now I got only hand crossbow, but just imagine it's a bow. So second level, we got this ensnaring strike. Of course, we're picking it. We got proficiency to hit this stuff. And if you want more healing for your party, Goodberry, nice pick. Otherwise, go with Hunter's Mark. Fighting style, we pick in archery. We are Ranger. On third level, we pick in our subclass, and we will be going with Hunter for today's build. So we get additional spell. We can pick something like Goodberry again, or some exploration stuff. If you're a supportive mage, don't have the stuff, you can go with Enhanced Sleep or Long Strider to cast it on yourself. Pretty much nicely picks. As Hunter, you will have this Hunter Prey stuff, so Oathbreaker, I don't recommend it. You can attack 2 creatures, but they need to stand very close to each other. Most of the time it's impossible. Giant Killer, if large or bigger creature attacks you, you can use reaction to make a melee attack. Again, very specific, you need to find large or bigger creatures. Many creatures will be normal, so whatever. And it will use your reaction to make melee attack, so you don't need this stuff. Colossus Slayer, what we pick? Colossus Slayer, once per turn, your weapon attacks deals additional 1d8 damage if target is below its hit point maximum. So most of the time you will do 2 attacks at the same enemy. On every second attack you will add this 1d8, and if enemy got a lot of hit points, on second turn you will add this 1d8 on first attack, so that's nice stuff to have. Ranger 4, we're getting feat, and for our feat of choice right now, we can go with Sharpshooter. So Sharpshooter, you can turn it on or turn it off. No matter in what state Sharpshooter right now, on or off, your range weapon attacks do not receive penalties from high ground rules. Very cool stuff. So you can attack from bottom to top and will have normal attack chance. But when you turn it on, you will have lower attack chance, -5 penalty to attack roll, but you will have 10 flat damage to attacks. That's cool feature. When you're fighting creatures that is strong with high armor class, you just turn it off and attack normally. And when you're fighting creatures that got low armor class, you basically sacrificing this 5 chance to hit to inflict a lot more damage. But that's not coolest part. Coolest part that we got this ensnaring strike. So at first turn we will use ensnaring strike to ensnare our enemy, and then we will get advantage on them. So while we get an advantage, we can totally go and make this Sharpshooter work. So we get an advantage, we don't care about this -5 penalty, and Sharpshooter all-in will work nicely. Very cool stuff. Next up, level 5, we get extra attack. Now we can do 2 attacks in 1 turn. We get level 2 spells. What spells we want as this type of hunter? We want Dark Vision. If our race don't have this stuff. If our race have Dark Vision, we don't care. Pick whatever you like. Lesser Restoration to just cure someone or yourself from poison or paralysis. Just why not? So on level 6, Hunter, Ranger, gaining this additional favorite enemy and Natural Explorer. So favorite enemy, you can go with Ranger Knight, just to get a proficiency in heavy armor. Maybe you will find good heavy armors at this point of the game, so why not to equip them and have nice time. But at level 6 you will be in Act 2 this game, or very soon you will be in Act 2, so I recommend picking this Keeper of the Wheel. There's a lot of undeads in this part of the game. I mean, undeads in every act. Basically, in every act you will face pretty many undeads. But in Act 2 you will face a lot of undeads, so that's why we want to have this stuff. Oh, Ranger Knight. Whatever. Both will work. Natural Explorer, go with whatever you like. Again, want to use Sleight of Hand, go with Urban Tracker. Want more protection, go with Protection from Fire. Fire is more like common stuff, so go with Fire. And we're going up to level 8 with Ranger. We got in Defensive Tactics on level 7. And I would stick with Escape the Horde. You're a range fighter, so you don't need to use this disengage actions. Why to use this when you can have this disadvantage? I mean, enemies will have disadvantage when you just trying to run away. For spells, again, pick wherever. We don't care about our spells. Goodberry could work. And Ranger 8 will give us additional feat, that's cool part, and difficult terrain won't affect us, so it no longer slows us down, that's cool part. our feat of choice right now, we already got this sharpshooter, we just need to have more chance to hit enemies. That's why we're going to ability improvement and maxing out our dexterity as much as possible. And while we can continue leveling this ranger, we won't get too much useful stuff, so we get an access to level 3 spells. There's some nice spells, but again, you're using your bow most of the time and you will use Ensnaring Strike as your spell most of the time, with all your spell slots. So we don't need to continue as a ranger, we won't get any useful stuff. And we, right now in the late game, switching to rogue. As rogue we get ability to use sneak attack, we will add 1d6 damage to enemies that we got advantage on. That's cool part, because we will get advantage on enemies that are ensnared. And we get additional abilities from rogue, so we can get sleight of hand up to +10. That's crazy stuff. Then on next level as rogue we're getting this cunning action, so we can use dash, hide and disengage as bonus action. Cool stuff. Most of the time as range character you won't need to use this, but again it's nice to have. So for subclasses, most common way to go will be Thief Rogue. We will get additional bonus action, but I like to go with Assassin. Deleting enemies from the start of the round is really cool ability to have. And Assassin got abilities as Initiative. So in combat you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that haven't taken turn yet. So someone haven't taken a turn, you have advantage. When you have advantage, most of the time you will hit your Ensnaring Strike and all your next attacks will have advantage, and that's crazy synergy you will have. Additionally, if you acting like pure assassin and surprising your enemies, you will be making critical hits for whole turn on any creature you attack. And if you're attacking first, if you're surprising your enemies, you will restore your action, bonus action at the start of the combat. This means you can go sneak up behind your target. If you know this target is enemy, use Ensnaring Strike from the shadows basically. You will surprise this dude, he will be ensnared, you will restore your action and bonus action, and you still can do a lot of attacks in the same turn. Crazy. And we're finishing with rogue just for one reason, we get additional feat. So our additional feat will be ability improvement and maxing out our dexterity, just like that. So rogues, these abilities like sneak attack can be used as reactions, so you can go to your reactions and make it ask, and you don't need them on panel. So your panel will look something like this. You can start your game with long strider, again to have more movement speed. You'll have your range attack, and your range attack some bonus actions like piercing shot and other stuff. Melee weapon, if you're using it, you can have this melee weapon part over here, that's our 12 skills. Of course, we will be using sometimes this cunning action hide, dash or whatever to use your bonus action, just if we need to. Most of the time we won't. So armor, you got proficiency in any armor, you got proficiency in heavy, in medium armor, pick best armor possible you could get. Pick shield, always pick shield to have more armor class, and pick best bow or crossbow you will find. While it's not like race dependent build, I recommend going with elf to get this long bow proficiency action. So what we can do and how we can play with this bro. Mostly it's simple and straightforward class. You basically go and attack your enemies. As you can see, they haven't taken a turn yet, so we got advantage against every enemy we see, and we got 100% hit chance on them. So what we can do, we can use bonus action to apply Hunter Mark on enemies, and this will add damage to our basic attacks. So when we kill this dude, we will get ability to reapply Hunter's Mark, and this won't use any spell slots, so that's like a cool part of this ability. But still it will use a bonus action. But it's adding 1d6 damage, so why not to have this stuff? And basically you're doing your 2 attacks and just enjoying your long range Hunter Ranger. But let's show you strategy against higher level opponents that you will face in the late game, of course. While this 1d6 from Hunter Mark is still reasonable, you still can reapply this stuff with your bonus action, but most of the time you will do it when you don't have any other stuff to do with your bonus actions. So what do we have here? We acting first right now, and this dude haven't taken a turn yet, so we got this an assassinate initiative, we got this advantage, so we can use Ensnaring Strike range, of course, from our bow, And with advantage we got 70% hit chance. But that's because we got sharpshooter Alin on. Let's turn it off. So we turning off this sharpshooter Alin, and now we got 91% chance to hit him when we got this advantage. So we want to keep this advantage going, and we can even upcast this ensnaring strike to do additional damage, but we don't care too much, we want just to hit him. So we hit him, he is ensnared. Because we got advantage, we can use sneak attack to do even more damage. And right now he is ensnared, we can turn on our sharpshooter Alin. And while we keep in our concentration, and we got high constitution, so we got high chance to keep our concentration going on, we basically can go and attack this target with advantage every turn, and this advantage means we will attack 70% of the time. And that's crazy, because we got basic crossbow without any bonuses. When in the late game you got a lot of gear that gives you bonuses to your attack, you will have a lot higher chances to hit these guys. And this guy is like on tutorial level, he's level 8 and he got 18 armor class. That's really big armor class, and you won't find a lot of enemies with 18 armor class in the late game too. So there are some guards with like 18 to 20 armor class, but most enemies will have around 16. Anyway, so that's like cool parts. And right now we're basically making attacks with advantage. And make sure not to use Hunter Mark right now, it uses concentration too. So most of the time you will use Ensnaring Strike anyway. Hunter's Mark, useful if you want to do just additional damage to your shots, if you're like sure that you hit your enemy. If you got hit chance around 80-90% to your enemy, then you can use Hunter Mark. If you got a lower hit chance than 60, better use Ensnaring Strike, then you will increase this chance with advantage on next attacks. You will do these attacks and you will have high chance to hit. And that's like coolest part, so we basically ensnaring our enemies and doing additional damage to them because they're not with full health, and we got this advantage from sneak attacks. That's crazy, that's just crazy stuff. So, you wanna play Rogue? So, again, we're back into our practices, not starting with our main class. As Rogue, you want to start as a Ranger. Ranger will give you more proficiency in armors, in shields. So, as Rogue, you get in only light armor and shield. And if I'm not mistaken, shield comes from my race actually, and not from Rogue itself. So Ranger, on the other hand, will give us proficiency in medium armor. But also, as Ranger, we will get awesome proficiency with range weapons later on. So first of all, we need to pick favorite enemy. I recommend going with Bounty Hunter to give enemies disadvantage on saving throws against Ensnaring Strike. And that's like bread and butter skill for Rangers. Natural Explorer, go with Urban Tracker to get proficiency in sleight of hand, or just go and have protection from poison, cold, fire, whatever you want. So abilities will go like this. Main abilities for Rogue will be Dexterity, we're going up to 16 with Dexterity. Constitution, same, we want a lot of health points. And then we can make some kind of balanced class, so we can go and make 10 in each. We can have a little bit more wisdom, because wisdom giving you proficiency in stuff like perception, it's nice for game, you will find and see a lot more stuff, experience a lot more stuff, that's nice stuff, so we can go with something like balanced like this. Or you can go dump intelligence, have 14 into wisdom, so kinda same what we done to our Ranger when we was building Ranger. We got completely different style for this build. So we're picking our spells on second level, we want to be a Ranger still, we want Ensnaring Strike, and another good stuff to have is Enhance Leap. So very nice stuff to have for exploration. And another good stuff to have is Long Strider. So this will give you ability to move more in a battle, you just cast it on yourself, very cool stuff. If your allies don't have the spell, that's nice to have. Fighting style, we're going with Archery. So depending on what is your play style, as Rogue will be. If you want to be like Sneaky Assassin Rogue and you will use your bow a lot, go with Archery. If you want to be like Melee Rogue, you know, going into the battle, into the front, rogues is really squishy, so you can go with defense and improve your armor class. Or you want to be dual-wielding rogue. Maybe, why not to be dual-wielding rogue? Two-weapon fighting. Why not? Yeah? And dueling. Dueling will work too. If you are not dual-wielder rogue, go with dueling. For today, I will go with two-weapon fighting. Just for fun, I will show you this type of rogue. Incredible rogue, actually. And from level 3, we stopping with our ranger, we going back to our rogue. Again, we're starting with rogue. So rogue level 1, we get more sleight of hand. Incredible. And we want to go and take 5 levels in rogue with this build. Second level rogue will get cunning actions, so we can use bonus action to hide, dash, disengage. For our subclasses rogue, we can go with assassin, of course, but for this build we want thief subclass to have this bonus action. Additional bonus action. So level 4 rogue, we get in 1 feat. And this field will be ability improvement. We want to have as much dexterity as possible. And we're finishing with level 5 rogue. At level 7 we get in this uncanny dodge. So when someone attacks us, we're taking only half as damage. Nice. Why we need to continue with rogue basically? When you play in rogue, every 2 levels, every odd level, not even, you got improvement sneak attack. So right now at level 5 rogue, we got 3d6. At level 7, we got 4d6. So we want 2 levels in rogue more. But what is rogue lacking actually? Rogue lacking additional attacks, because at level 5, as you can see, we got uncanny dodge, and uncanny dodge helping us survive attacks, but not making more damage. And as rogue, as this type of rogue, we want to get back to ranger again. So as ranger, we don't care about our spells, we can go with Hunter's Mark. Nice spell to have. And our subclass will be Gloom Stalker. So Gloom Stalker at the start of the fight will get ability to make additional attacks that will deal additional damage without any action, bonus action, and we get additional movement speed. So spells don't matter too much. Nice pick will be Enhanced Sleep. Basically we continue with Gloom Stalker right now. And like that, at level 9 we get an additional feat. So our feat of choice will be again ability improvement, dexterity. Let's continue. And finally, at level 10, we get this cool feature. First of all, we can use Misty Step as our spell, very cool stuff. Bonus action, teleport, and extra attack. So now we finally, as rogue, we can do 2 attacks in 1 turn. We get access to level 2 spells from Hunter, Ranger, and we will get this protection from poison just to be able to protect poison. And now, finally, what we have from Ranger at level 6. We can have this additional Ranger Knight to have proficiency in heavy armor, but come on, we're playing Rogue. Today I'm making builds for like pure classes, not like multi classes. That's why we're switching back to Rogue. And we want to have more proficiency in stealth, so we got plus 13 to stealth, so we can be as stealthy as possible. And we're getting 1 more level in Rogue to finish it up with level 7 Rogue. Level 7 Rogue will give us ability to take even less damage from spells that require dexterity saving throws, but most importantly it will improve power of our sneak attack. So, weapons for this type of rogue. It will be 2 short swords. Most of the time it will be 2 short swords if you want best weapons possible for this style. Or you can go with 2 daggers. If you find good 2 daggers, of course 2 daggers will be nice too. Weapon, again, short bow, long bow, best bow you can find. Armor, it will be medium armor because we are proficient, because we are ranger, we got some levels in ranger. And with this style we don't want to disengage, so we don't need most of the time this cunning action disengage. Hide, sometime maybe we need to hide. This stuff is exploration. So what we have on the panel in the end? In the end we start our day with protection from poison, long strider, so we got resistances. We can use Misty Step in the fight 1 time with this level 2 spell slot, just like that. And we got main weapon attack, main hand, offhand weapon attack. It will do additional damage because we got this dual fighter style from Ranger. We got range attack and all other weapons features like flourish, piercing shot, lacerate, and other features. You can have it on the panel. The panel again looks really easy. So how you play it? At the start of the fight you will get this Dread Ambusher bonus like action without any action. And why we pick exactly this style? Because now we can do 2 attacks as a Ranger with our action, and as Thief Rogue we get these 2 bonus actions, so we can do 1 attack to 1 enemy just like that, and we make it 2 attacks with action and bonus action. We can go to second enemy, make 2 attacks again. That's just crazy. Make sure to turn off double attacking. If you want to use it manually, you can use main hand attack with action, off-hand attack with bonus action, and then at the first round you will have this Dread Ambusher, so you can even shoot your enemies. That's crazy. But when you face these strong late-game enemies, how you will play? So again, you can do 1 attack, second attack from the start of the fight. You still can use your off-hand attack just nicely, and you still can use your Dread Ambusher, so you can fight from the range, from the melee, use your additional bonus action to dash to new position, and just like that you're pretty mobile and very cool in the late game fights. But most of the time you will use this ensnaring strike because you get advantage, and you will use it as soon as level 2 in this game, because you get it at level 2, and you will use action and bonus action and level 1 spell slot or level 2 spell slot, you can upcast it, to get chance to ensnare enemies. So, and that's cool, because when enemy ensnared, every attack against this enemy will be with advantage, and when you're attacking with advantage, you trigger in your sneak attacks. So just look at this damage. We're making 2 attacks, we activating sneak attack, and basically you like crazy double damaging dude. And we can do it 2 times in 1 turn. That's like most crazy stuff. And basically you're ensnaring your targets and going in, attacking them, and you can do kinda same stuff from the range. That's like cool part. So, you wanna play Warlock? Again, we're getting back to our practices, and instead of going Warlock as level 1, because Warlock will get only light armor proficiency, that's not cool, and charisma and wisdom saving throws. Warlock really likes to use a lot of constitution saving throws to keep concentration on cool spells, like late mid-game spells. There's a lot of cool spells that require concentration. So as Warlock, again, we want this constitution saving throw proficiency in weapons, armors. Let's go with Fighter. That's like smartest way you should go as Warlock. So we're making caster Warlock, finally. All my builds today was mostly like for fighters. So only casters was like a Druid Cleric, Bard a little bit. So we need 1 more caster today. That's why we're going with Fighter level 1 and making him caster later. So, skills for Warlock. For Warlock you need a lot of charisma and a lot of constitution, of course, 16 in each. Next up, you want a lot of dexterity to have nice armor class, so 14 dexterity, and as Warlock you don't need strength, so intelligence and wisdom, just like that. Cool part, when you start like this, you don't need strength as Warlock, but because you're a fighter, you get proficiency in strength saving throws. So instead of getting -1 to these saving throws, you will get +2, and that's like a cool part. And just after you start it as fighter, and you are making Warlock, you can again wear any armor you like. You can go with heavy armor as fighter easily. You can go with like shield, very armored cool Warlock. As you can see, with defense style, you're going up to 20 armor from the start. So weapon doesn't matter, pick best weapon you can possibly get that possibly will increase your spell casting ability. At the first levels you want any weapon that is written as finesse. So finesse weapons can use dexterity instead of strength just to make your damage. That's because you got some dexterity, you got low strength, you don't need weapons that don't have this finesse stuff as fighter at level 1. But you will get level 2 very fast. Just after the tutorial level you will get level 2, and that's why it doesn't matter what is your first level too much. So at the second level you're going to multiclass into Warlock, and you get in your cantrips. Main bread and butter cantrip is Eldritch Blast, of course, best cantrip in the game. Force damage, least resisted damage in the game. So it's Eldritch Blast and Minor Illusion. Minor Illusion is very useful stuff. I should probably make a video on how to use Minor Illusion, but whatever. You basically place it, it distracts enemies, it attracts enemies, so that's cool stuff. Okay, subclass. For spellcaster, I recommend going with the Fiend always, because the Fiend, later stages of the Fiend will get us better futures. At the first levels, you just get bonus hit points, temporary hit points based on your Warlock level and your charisma, so nice future to have to be more tanky, less fragile as magic caster. So for spells, early game, Hex is a really nice spell. You just cast it on your enemies, it will do additional damage when you damage them, so why not to have this stuff? Hex is really nice stuff. And Armor of Agathos, again, you will be even more tankier, that's cool part. And the Fiend subclass really works well with Armor of Agathos because you will replenish these hit points when you kill enemies. Very possible to get this Armor of Agathos going on almost forever. And basically with this build we continue and finish up with Warlock. So 1 level Fighter, 11 level Warlock. What we getting on our way? Level 3, doesn't matter, we picking our Eldritch Invocations. So Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast. Agonizing, adding our Charisma modifier to damage of our Eldritch Blast. Repelling Blast, pushing enemies 4.5 meter away when we casting this spell. Very cool stuff. So we're getting Pact Boon. As Warlock, exactly as this type of Warlock, we can go into Pact of the Blade. Because Pact of the Chain is not very useful actually, it just gives you Quasit, he's really weak summon. Our Pact of the Tome gives you more spells, a lot more spells, but we are making build with less spells, as least spells as possible, so we don't need a lot of spells. Pact of the Blade will work, so you can bind yourself with your weapon. This weapon will do more damage. Most of the time you won't use your attacks, but still you can use them, why not? For spells on level 2, we're making like caster today, so I will go with Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray is a nice spell. So level 5, level 4 Warlock, we're getting cantrips, we don't care about cantrips. Bone Chill will work, but we don't care too much. Spells, Misty Step or Hold Person. Actually, Misty Step is really cool. Very cool spell because you can reposition yourself, but we started as fighter, we don't need to reposition ourselves too much because we are pretty tanky, we're not like squishy mage. That's why we don't need Misty Step because it still uses spell slot, and Warlock got only 2 spell slots. So better go with Hold Person, more useful, like more cool stuff. We're getting additional feat. For our feat we just going into Charisma. Charisma will increase, first of all, power of our damage, like melee weapon attacks. It will increase power of our Eldritch Blast, our main spell, our main cantrip. Most importantly, it not require you any spell slots to use. And it will increase chances to hit with this cantrip, because it gives you chance to hit. That's like most important part. So on level 6 we get Deepened Pact. As you can see with Pact of the Blade we get extra attack. With Pact of the Chain our familiar gets extra attack, but he's like super weak, we don't care about this. And as Pact of the Tome we get Animate Death, Hast and Call Lightning. So that's like nice spells to have. But we don't want to concentrate on Hast because we will be using other concentration spells. Same for Call Lightning, we got other concentration spells, nice concentration spells. So we don't need this stuff actually. You can go with Deepened Pact of Pact of the Tome, definitely it doesn't matter too much. If you want to use Animate Death, so if you want to use zombies with this Warlock, go for Animate Death. Most importantly, we're now getting access to level 3 spells, and that's our bread and butter, Hunger of Hader. It's doing cold damage when enemies starting their turn in this area, and if they end in turn in this area, you're doing acid damage. So nice spell, doing a lot of damage. Additional Eldritch Invocations, I recommend going with Devil's Sight, it will just give you Dark Vision in magical and non-magical. Again, replace spell if you don't need any spell. At these levels, Hex is not a very cool spell, so we can definitely replace spell. Hex for Darkness. Darkness requires your concentration, so that's a cool part, and we got now this combination. So our combination is we can cast darkness, and we got this devil's sight, so we see in this magical darkness, enemies don't see, we got advantage, they get disadvantage. Crazy synergy at level 6. So level 7, we get ability to add 1d10 to ability check. Nice stuff. And for spells, I recommend going with Vampiric Touch, it could work with this type of build. So level 7, additional Eldritch Invocations. And there's not too much cool stuff over here, you can pick whatever you like. For example, Disguise Self, to be able to cast it if you want to have fun sometime. Most importantly, we get an access to level 4 spells. And there's not too much cool spells over here. Wall of Fire will work. We're mostly concentrating on some concentration spells. Just go for concentration spells with this type of build, because we got this proficiency in concentration saving throws. And level 9, we get this ability to improve our ability improvement one more time, get charisma up to 20, we get in more spells. We don't care too much, you can go with wherever you like. Fire Shield, for 10 turns you will get this fire and cold damage if someone hits you, why not? So level 10, we get spells. Level 5, level 5, hold monster. Cool stuff, you can hold any creature you see for 10 turns, very nice stuff. Eldritch Invocations. Strong spell will be minions of chaos. You can cast Conjure Elemental with Warlock spell slot, so you can just summon a really strong, cool elemental. Level 10 of Warlock or level 11 character, we get this Fiendish Resilience if we pick a pinned subclass, so we can pick any type of damage and we get a resistance to this type of damage. Cantrip, we don't care. Spells, we don't care too much. Again, we get everything we need already. And then we're finishing with level 11 Warlock. Most importantly, we're getting one more spell slot. That's why we want this Warlock level 11. So right now we get 3 spell slots of Warlock. Additionally, we get Mystic Arcanum, and we can pick some cool spells from our Mystic Arcanum. We can go with Circle of Dash. It's just nice AoE spell that's damaging a lot of creatures in it. Or if you like summons, go with Create Undead to make Mummy. So, start of the day, you can make your elementals, make your zombies, you can cast Fiendish Resilience to make you resistant to any damage type you choose, just wherever. You want to cast this Bind Pact weapon to bind with your weapon. Right now it's doing 1d6 plus 2 damage, but we just cast this stuff and it's starting to do 1d6 plus 5 from our charisma. That's like strong stuff to have. So, our spells. If we need to concentrate on disabling enemies, we go for Hold Monster or Hold Person, of course. At the start of the day, most of the time you want to cast Armor of Agates on yourself, so you will get these temporary hit points while they active. Every attack against you will be refracted with damage against enemy, cool stuff to have. And additionally, in a fight you can combine it with Fire Shield, and it can be cold or fire damage, so you basically add in this damage. And just like that, every enemy that will heal you, that will attack you, will get a lot of damage. And in the fight, you want to just decide what you are concentrating on in these fights. So you want you have like 2 options. You can concentrate on Hunger of Hader. That's like spell that's creating this area, and in this area, enemies will get damaged. So while they're in this area, you can basically use your Eldritch Blast, and you will have 3 Eldritch Blasts at one time. You can cast it on one target, on 3 targets on different targets in one turn, and all these targets will be pushed. So targets try to escape this area, you just pushing them back to this area. Other good concentration spells that you can use, because in Hunger of Hader you will be damaged when you're in. But as you can see, we started as fighter, so we got this concentration saving throw proficiency, and it's hard to break concentration, so it's kinda possible for you to stand in this zone. It's not recommended, but it's possible. If you want to be more safe, go with darkness, cast it on yourself, just and stand and attack enemies in darkness, because you don't care about this darkness. You got this protection from it, you got this from your Eldritch Invocations. Or you can concentrate on Vampiric Touch. So Vampiric Touch is a spell using attack roll, using concentration, and while it's read as 5d6 damage, let me show you. So, it should be 5d6, and you can keep concentration for 10 turns, and you will regain half health points from the damage. So, you're just using this stuff, you destroying this bro, look at damage. So we can cast this Vampiric Touch, and enemies will die, and you will keep your concentration, and you just run around casting this Vampiric Touch every turn for 10 turns, or until you will lose your concentration. It's hard to lose your concentration, because you got proficiency in saving throws, because we started as fighter, we are a smart person. So right now, again, stuff you can do, you can cast Fire Shield on yourself, and you got this Armor of Agathos, you got this Fire Shield, and you can provoke this opportunity attacks. Just run around and make enemies attack you. Let me get rid of my armor, so they will hit myself. So coolest part, when we did it, we still keeping concentration on our Vampiric Touch. So we can use Vampiric Touch and basically run around for this opportunity attacks from enemies. And as you can see, he just hit us, and he got 2d8 fire damage from Fire Shield, he got flat 25 from our Armor of Agathos, and all of this he got only by trying to inflict 1d4 to us. That's like crazy stuff. So that's the way to play, or you can go and place again Hunger of Hader on your enemies, make them end turn or start turn in this zone, so he started turn and dead, just like that. So you wanna play Paladin. And we're getting back to the basics. We're starting as Paladin, finally we're starting as Paladin. So this build that I will show you will work with any kind of Paladin. So exactly this build will work with any kind of Paladin, but especially for today's build, we want to make Oathbreaker. So it doesn't matter with what type of Paladin you start. So for this type of build, main attributes will be Charisma, Constitution, and some Dexterity. So it's somewhat like we're building Warlock. It looks like we're building Warlock. And yeah, we kinda building Warlock. So we want a little bit of Strength. Why not to have it? Some Wisdom, it's most common saving throws. Just like that, let's start. So as Paladin, you can pick fighting style. With this style, you want to get defense, we want to be protective guy. Spells doesn't matter right now. Paladin knows all spells, so we pick this when we finish this class. And first of all, let's become Oathbreaker. So again, weapon armor, pick best weapon, best armor you can get. But because we got higher dex than strength, you need finest weapons. So first of all, you need to become Oathbreaker. To do it, go on this location of the map, just after you finish your tutorial level, and when you find tieflings, go and kill them. And after you did it, there will be a cut scene. Go to Long Rest, and you will find this bro near the river. He will tell you that you are Oathbreaker. And after you become Oathbreaker, you get new powers, like Spiteful Suffering on level 3, and we continue with Paladin basically. We're leveling up. Sorry, Spiteful Suffering was on level 2, on level 3 we get Control Undead. So now when we see any undeads, we can try and control them, very fun stuff, and we can frighten our enemies with our Oath Charges. So that's both actions used with Oath Charges. We got Divine Health, so diseases can't affect us. We got Oath Spells, so Inflict Wounds and Hellish Rebuke, nice spells, but again, it's nice to have spells, but we're Paladin, we will be using our Divine Smite anyway. And with Paladin, we want to go until level 7. Level 4 we get additional feat, and most of the time when you're playing Paladin, you will focus on some feats like Sentinel, for example. We can do it too, very nice feat. So when enemies attack your allies, they will provoke opportunity attacks and they will stuck in place. You will use your reaction. That's nice feat to have as Paladin. Another good feat is Great Weapon Master. So if you're using heavy weapon, they deal additional damage, but costing you -5 to attack roll. And this two feats is nice feats to have. So we are focusing right now with Sentinel. We're starting with Sentinel. Another good choice will be ability improvement. And most of the time when you're playing Paladin, you're focusing on Dex or Strength, depending on your weapon. But with this type of Paladin, we want Charisma actually. Right now, there's no use of Charisma in this build right now. So better we go and getting our Great Weapon Master. So level 5, our Oathbreaker at level 5, get an extra attack. That's nice point. So now we can do 2 smites in 1 turn. And third smite if we killed someone with first smite, because we got this Great Weapon Master. If we kill someone, we can use bonus attack to kill another creature. So level 6, we get an aura of protection. Very nice aura. On level 7, we get an aura of hate. So now our undead's doing additional damage. And now we're finishing our build. So there is like a little catch. In like pure D&D rules, if you go on Warlock and you get impact of the blade, you're not getting extra attack from the blade and extra attack from the paladin at the same time. Just in case you're watching this video and it's already changed, so you could get paladin up to level 8. But if it's not, go with Warlock and finish with Warlock, with 5 levels of Warlock. So should they change? I don't know. But today I will be accounting just for possibility it could possibly be the true. So we're going with ability improvement and we adding charisma. Again, we could pick Sentinel, but we want to make more charisma right now because we're switching to Warlock. We're switching to Warlock, we're getting more spells, more cool stuff. So as Oathbreaker at level 9, you're getting this animate dead stuff. If you want zombie army right now, you can go with this. Otherwise, you can go into Warlock instantly. For cantrips, you're going picking Eldritch Blast. Subclass will be Great Old One for critical hits and frightening enemies. Very nice. Or the Fiend for extra hit points. I like sticking with the Fiend, with Armor of Agathos, and any spell you like, it doesn't matter too much. So let's go with Warlock. On second level of Warlock we get an Eldritch Invocations, and we want to increase power of our cantrip. Sometimes we just need some range spells. Agonizing Blast is nice stuff. But we don't want to push enemies away from us when we're playing Paladin. We want to come close to enemies. That's why we don't need Repelling Blast, we pick Devil's Sight to see in darkness magical and non-magical. So on third level of Warlock we get in Pact Boon and we want Pact of the Blade. And we want to pick our spell, so our spell of choice will be Darkness. And we can finish it 2 ways. First way to finish it, go with Warlock at level 4. You can have spells like Hold Person, for example, and you can have additional feat. Or go to Paladin level 9. This will leave us without additional feats, but we strong on ourselves anyway. So let's look on this bro in action. So as Paladin, make sure to turn on your reactions. Go to your character sheet, go to your reactions and turn on all Divine Smites, turn on Ask button. And as you can see, we got a lot of spells, a lot of features when we're playing Paladin, but today we're making PS5 builds with only 12 slots. So what we have in final? We have basic weapon attack, we got additional weapon skills. So right now we got this big Warhammer, and how I get this Warhammer? We can pact our weapon, or we can basically create weapon. From the start of the day, we're pacting with our weapon. This weapon will get our charisma modifier instead of dex, instead of strength. That's why we don't need high dex, high strength. Dex only to 14 to increase our armor class. Strength just 10. And other spells, we got Darkness to cast it, and basically we will see enemies, we will get advantage on them, they want to get advantage on us. That's cool part. We get this Spiteful Suffering. Cool part, we got this Aura of Hate, we can cast it from the start of the day. We got Aura of Protection, that's on our other circle. So we got 2 auras. We got Armor of Agathos, and we can cast it with our Warlock spell slot or even upcast it with our third spell slot. I recommend to go in with Warlock spell slot because we can use Short Rest and regain this spell slot. So that's not too much, but again 10 temporary hit points. And we got our Army of Death. We want to create zombies, of course, from these guys that we just killed. Let's go, our zombie, and I show you this bro in a battle. Why he is like very cool and unique and interesting to play character. So as always, again, we can use Eldritch Blast. It's doing 1d10 plus 4 damage, and there will be 3 Eldritch Blasts in one target. Nice stuff if you need some range damage, if you need to help your zombies, for example. But most of the time you just run to your enemies and crush them with your weapon. Because we got this Pact of the Blade, we will be proficient with any weapon we choose, so every weapon will be nice weapon for us. And if we're not killing with normal attack, we can use our Divine Smite reaction to just finish our enemies. Coolest part, we just use it, he dead, and we got one more attack, so we can do it one more time. So again, dead. And coolest part is we got this Aura of Hate, as you can see. So we and nearby undeads doing additional damage. That's why we want to get this aura. And by getting this aura and getting Pact of the Blade, we're actually making double charisma modifier to our attacks. That's why, if you're not wielding heavy weapon that will get plus 10 bonus, then better just get plus 2 to charisma and you will make flat plus 10 always with double charisma modifier. Very nice stuff to have. So, zombie got this jump as bonus action, don't forget, so always use jump as zombies. If they can't reach their target, use dash. So what's about zombies? When zombie attack enemies, if they survive and you want to stand nearby zombies, so they will do additional damage, and additional 5 damage is not bad. Zombies inflict this awesome status to enemies. So when zombies hit your enemies, you can finish them and they will become zombies. So when you are nearby your zombies, enemies definitely in trouble. Just like that, we got 1 mini zombie, and we can continue building our zombie army. And by the way, zombies taking damage is normal, because newborn zombies taking damage every turn or every 6 seconds, so we can destroy them. And by the way, I beat Baldur's Gate 3 with only potatoes. You can see this video on the screen right now. Or you can go and watch other builds on my channel on the screen too. You got 2 videos to choose from. And see you in the next videos, guys.